Okay, in this video, I'm going to talk about one of the most important things to making this sales process work efficiently, which is speed to contact, and how your SDRs, or you might call them your setters, are actually claiming leads that are coming in from paid ads. Okay, so if you look back earlier in the advanced sales process training videos, you probably heard me talking about peak buying interest, which basically means, to reiterate, that means when someone comes through a lead form or someone fills out an application from a paid ad, they aren't super fans of your company. They haven't been watching your content for a long period of time. However, they did see your ad on Facebook or YouTube or TikTok or whatever, and they're raising their hand asking for help, which means they're interested. Okay, but they're still pretty cold. They came in just knowing that, hey, this company might have a solution to my problem. Okay, and so like you saw or learned about earlier on in this program, every minute that goes by after they fill out that lead form, or after they fill out that application or whatever they did to become a lead, every minute they aren't contacted by a salesperson after that point, the likelihood of them buying goes down and down and down and down, to the point where, and you might have experienced this with your sales team, if you have leads sitting that haven't been contacted in over a week and your team starts to call them, right, and some of them pick up, you're gonna hear things like, oh, I don't even know what your company does. I don't even know who this person is. I haven't seen any of your videos. It's because they don't remember. It's because it's a blip in time when they saw an ad that spoke to them and their problem or their desires, and they asked for help. Okay, but it's a blip in time. It's one of 1,000 different things that they're doing on that specific day when they filled out that form. And so we need our setters, or our SDRs, whatever you call them on your team, to contact the new leads as soon as humanly possible. Okay, ideally within 12 to 24 hours, ideally within a few minutes, if it's like 2 p.m. in the afternoon or whatever, right? So we want them to be called as soon as possible. And there's a process that needs to be followed in order to do that. Because if there's not a process, you guys are business owners, if there's not a process, then it won't get done properly. So there's a few different ways that we do this. I'm gonna show you a few different examples of this being done properly and this being done not properly by a few of my clients right now. Okay, so there's a few different ways we do this, depending on if you're operating communications out of Slack, like the communication software, if you're operating out of spreadsheets, which is totally fine. I've seen companies do millions per month out just operating their, dealing with their leads out of a simple Google Sheet, like the one you see on my screen here. But there's a few different ways to do this. One way is in a Google Sheet like this. So when someone fills out an application or a lead form of some kind, we automatically have their contact information and their answers sent into a Google Sheet like this, where we have sales reps in here that are operating in here to call these leads. Now, this is an example of this not being done properly, but what we want to have happen is we want your SDRs or your setters to come in here and claim leads by calling them as soon as possible. Okay, and this is not a round robin style, everyone gets the exact same amount of these leads that are coming from paid ads, because that doesn't incentivize speed. The key here is speed to contact, right? So if Billy and John are the two competing SDRs, we don't want it to be where they both have the same amount of opportunities, because that doesn't incentivize speed. If Billy is way quicker to call all these leads and claims all these leads, and John is like, what the hell? Like, why? Like, he's taking all the leads. That's not our problem, John. Be faster. Okay, so it incentivizes speed, because the more opportunities these SDRs, these setters are getting, the more commission they're going to be able to make, because for obvious reasons, because they're able to take that lead, turn into a potential deal with a closer. Now, the way we want to do this, and this is not being done properly in this specific scenario. Okay, I'll give you this example instead. How we want this to work is SDRs come in here and immediately they're going to call the new lead. Okay, so just pretend one of these is a new lead. I'm not going to show you all the stuff to the left because that's the client's information. I don't want to share that stuff. Let's say there's SDR A, SDR B, SDR C. They all come in here. Whoever calls, and the phone's actually ringing, whoever calls the lead and contacts the lead first gets to come in here and assign themselves to that lead. Okay, they come in here, they assign themselves to the lead. If you're operating out of Slack, for example, I'm going to show you an example of a client that their team is doing this really, really well right now. Okay, see these people commenting on these new applications coming in? Okay. These SDRs and setters, they're trained to comment on the post that's coming into this feed, this automatic feed that's coming in here. That's a notification for everyone on the sales team, all the setters and SDRs. They're trained to first contact the lead, pick up the phone, hit call, and only once the phone is actually ringing are they allowed to type in their calling, right? Because we don't want people, just coming in and claiming all the leads and they haven't even called one of them yet, right? So it is a little bit of an honor system, but it's really, really effective if the culture is right in your sales team, where like we have some examples in this client's feed here. Let's see if I can find one where their multiple SDRs are commenting on a post or a new leads in the thread here, and it creates this internal competition that's really, really healthy. There hasn't been one in a while. I'm gonna go all the way up, but it creates an internal environment that's really, really healthy and competitive, where it just incentivizes speed, right? The faster you can get on the phone and have a conversation with a salesperson, or excuse me, one of your leads, the higher the likelihood that they'll actually get on a Zoom call or potentially do a deal with you or actually become a customer. Okay, and so just to reiterate, there's a few different ways you can do this. If you use a spreadsheet like this, you want to have an automated email get sent out to all of your reps like this, where you can actually link them to the spreadsheet where they can come in here, and whoever calls them fastest gets to put their name as the assigned sales rep once the phone's actually ringing. And then from that point on in the sales process, that SDR or that setter, whatever you call them, they own that lead, right? So truly they're incentivized to contact them as soon as possible, because if they don't, then guess what happens? They're not going to get any leads from the paid ads, because this other setter is going to be on top of the ball and motivated to claim all of them and eat all of it up. And so again, it creates an internal environment of like healthy competition, and it works really, really well, and it keeps everyone on the same page and in a competitive state. So again, there's a few different ways to do it. Either have their name in a Google Sheet like this, where they can claim their name as the assigned sales rep only once the phone's ringing, or if you have like a Slack channel, for example, you can do this where these setters are actually commenting something like calling once they actually start calling and the phone's actually ringing. So that is how to incentivize speed to contacting your new leads from your paid ads, and that's the structure that you want to follow to train your SDRs and your setters to actually claim those leads as theirs, as assigned to them, to create that internal competition. Hope this was helpful. I'll see you in the next video.